In this video, I'll attempt to explain the entire Devil May Cry timeline in chronological order. The entire timeline consists of 5 games, 2 manga series, and even an anime. However, I'm not talking about the newest DMC Anime from this year, since yeah, that one wasn't really canon. Instead, I'm talking about the one that came out all the way back in 2007, but we'll talk more about that when we get to it. So, without further ado, let's start with some backstory. We are going to start with the Devil May Cry 3 manga because it serves as a good starting point for everyone to understand where the main characters come from. Furthermore, it introduces us to the universe where the storylines take place. When the world was born, it was divided into 2 parts, the world of darkness and the world of light. The world of darkness was inhabited by demons, while the world of light was inhabited by humans. One day, the King of Darkness decided that it was about time to merge the 2 worlds. The world of light, along with its humans, was weak, and humans couldn't resist darkness. But then, a man named Sparda appeared. Although he was living in the world of darkness, Sparda fought and defeated the king, allowing humans to live in the light. Due to this, Sparda was loved and his name became popular. However, the day came when Sparda disappeared and what was left of him was just a legend. As the years went by, Sparda's legend became a fairy tale and humans could only study it as a myth. However, before Sparda disappeared, he had 2 sons with a woman called Eva, and they were named Dante and Virgil. 2,000 years later, and we can see Dante training in his apartment. His friend Enzo soon arrives to talk to him about a job, but Dante needs some time before talking about it. Later that day, Dante meets Enzo in a bar to discuss the details of this new job. However, when he enters the room where Enzo is supposed to be, he witnesses a handful of monsters attacking Enzo. Dante gets to work and quickly slays the monsters before talking to Enzo about the job. Apparently, the payment is $4 million, and the mission is to find a girl named Alice. However, Dante doesn't like it because he doesn't like finding lost kids. Enzo reminds Dante that he is paying for his apartment, which makes him quickly change his mind. Elsewhere, Virgil attends a library to read a forbidden book. Another man named Arkham approaches and talks to him about the legend of Sparda, assuming that this is what Virgil was looking for. Arkham narrates that Sparda defeated the Demon Lord and then sealed the forces of evil along with his weapons, particularly his sword, in the darkness. Then, Sparda lived as a human and even became human after falling in love with a woman. Virgil then adds that Sparda also had 2 children with that woman, referring to him and Dante. In the meantime, Dante and Enzo arrive outside a mansion, but Dante tells his mate to leave because things are about to get messy. Dante enters the mansion and finds Alice, but soon realizes that it's actually a demon. The demon grows into a big monster, but Dante has no trouble putting it down. Then he finds a picture of Alice with another young woman, Mary. The story then cuts to Virgil again, who is now walking through the streets. Suddenly, he is attacked by a group of thugs who take a liking to his Japanese sword. Virgil is a man of few words and jumps straight to the action, cutting the brains of these men in half. Right next, Virgil sees Enzo sitting drunk in the streets and deduces that Dante must be nearby. Back inside the mansion, Dante crashes a demon party and is forced to kill them all. Soon, he finds Alice and announces that he's going to take her, but the girl is emotionally attached to a rabbit-shaped demon she calls Rabbi. Dante tells the girl that Rabbi is a demon and wonders what its plan is. When the clock hits 12, Alice proclaims that it's tea time. Another ugly demon appears and throws some comments about Dante. He recognizes Dante as the son of Sparda, who is killing demons as a form of revenge because his parents were killed by demons. Dante is trapped, but eventually manages to escape and kill the ugly demon. Now he wants to take Alice with him, but Rabbi plays with her, proving that humans are weak and that they can be manipulated. Rabbi does not view his actions as mean, but rather blames Alice for being weak. Dante tries to free her by speaking some words to her, but Alice doesn't want to let go and prefers being possessed. She has had a rough life and is emotionally hurt because she feels like she has not been loved by humans. Rabbi then reveals that he is actually the one who hired Dante because he wanted to meet him in person, and the payment for finding Alice has already been sent to his agent. Since there is nothing else he can do, Dante starts walking away, but Rabbi stops him because he wants to have the amulet Dante is carrying. Dante has no intention of giving him the amulet, so he just walks away. However, Rabbi then has another visitor, Dante's brother Virgil. Virgil talks to Rabbi about the Temen ni Gru, which is the seal placed by Sparta on the demon world. In order to activate the seal and open the demon world, they apparently need to visit 4 different locations. But even if they do that, it still wouldn't work, because they would need a key. We then learn that the key was divided by Sparta and given to his 2 sons, Dante and Virgil. Virgil has his half, but the other half is actually Dante's amulet. Rabbi suggests that Virgil work with his brother, but this suggestion infuriates Virgil, who quickly kills Rabbi. That night, Dante informs Enzo that the job is done before heading back to his apartment to get some sleep. It's a rough night for Dante, as his nightmares remind him of the day he lost his mother. That day, Dante and Virgil were only little kids, and they had to hide from demons. Their mother was then killed by demons, while the brothers were separated. Back in the present, Arkham follows Virgil in order to help him lift the seals of Temen ni Gru. He is doing this because he is fascinated with the world of demons. On many occasions, he even refers to demons as angels. He compares the world of humans to earth and the world of demons to heaven. Arkham explains to Virgil that his father, Sparta, was very powerful, and the demons who tried to stop him were no match for him. Furthermore, Arkham explains that Sparta was able to erase the names of the demons he trapped. You see, a name is very important to a demon because demons shape their personalities according to the meaning of their name. As Arkham keeps mumbling, Virgil is thrown into a hallucination. The imprisoned demon makes him imagine a graveyard where a bunch of skeletons attack him. Virgil knows this is not real and wonders what he should do to break. He then grabs his sword, but the demon asks him to give it a name because this is the way it can be free. Virgil allows the demon to pick its own name, and the creature names itself Pride. Virgil walks away while the demon tells him that heaven will be unleashed when all 7 names are gathered. Meanwhile, Enzo is looking for Dante to give him another job, even though Dante doesn't want to get involved with unimportant missions. Enzo claims he is in trouble and he will be killed by some Chinese guy, but Dante still doesn't care. He then leaves the bar without realizing that Alice is laying drunk in a corner. Later, Arkham meets Virgil and tells him about the importance of number 7. Since the demon talked about 7 names and he picked Pride for himself, it is likely that there are 7 seals, just like there are 7 deadly sins. That same night, Mary and Alice find Dante's home and they enter inside it. Alice waits for the right moment and manages to steal Dante's amulet before running away. She then gives it to Virgil so he can do his thing with it. Alice expects some praise from Virgil, but he just walks away to carry on with his mission. While Dante is looking for Alice, a map appears right in front of him and he decides to follow the path on it. This path leads him to a church where the ugly demon from earlier awaits him. The demon claims that he has a job for Dante, but the demon hunter immediately attacks him. The demon manages to avoid the attack, but suddenly the floor below Dante shatters and he falls into a graveyard full of skulls. Dante is then greeted by a trapped demon who asks him to give it a name. Dante proclaims he has a job to finish, but the ugly demon appears and tells him that this is actually the job it wanted him to do. Using the immense power inside him, Dante just has to give this trapped demon a name and that's it. However, Dante knows that this is some kind of trap and wants to know more. The ugly demon then talks to him using words that correspond to the deadly sins. Maybe if Dante says one of those words, the demon will be named and freed. Despite the ugly demon's plan, Dante does not utter any of those words. However, Virgil suddenly appears out of nowhere and allows the trapped demon to pick a name for itself. The demon picks the name Sloth and is freed. Dante is surprised to see his brother because he thought he was killed by demons when they were attacked during their childhood. Despite this brotherly reunion, the atmosphere between the two of them is tense. Dante pulls his sword, called Rebellion, and uses it to lift a skull. He then tells his brother that he is a demon hunter and he makes a living out of it. Virgil isn't impressed and asks his brother to rethink his profession because soon it won't be needed. He tells Dante that the demon world is soon going to consume the human world completely and that he will raise a tower to open the link to the demon world. Hearing this, Dante thinks that his brother is being played as a pawn by the demons. On the other hand, Virgil will destroy anyone who gets in his way. Dante attacks first and the two brothers engage in a fight. The fight has no victor as Dante stands down and calmly asks Virgil to return the amulet. To the ugly demon's surprise, Virgil removes the amulet from his neck and returns it to Dante. The ugly demon is worried because they need the amulet to open a portal, but Virgil tells him that he can get it back anytime. The prequel story ends with Arkham speaking to an unknown entity. The entity prompts him to get started with the ritual. Devil May Cry 3. This game opens in a similar fashion to the manga, with us getting some information about Sparta and his battle against the forces of evil. We then see Dante walk around a place that appears to be his shop. He receives a few phone calls, but he has to eat his pizza before he gets to work. Obviously, Arkham soon walks inside the shop and asks Dante if he is the son of Sparta. Dante wonders how the man knows this, but Arkham reveals that he knows Virgil, so everything starts making sense to Dante. Anyways, Arkham has an invitation for him, but the invitation comes in the form of an attack. Suddenly, a group of Reaper demons appear and attack Dante. The Reapers use their scythes to wound Dante, but it doesn't appear to be serious. Demon Hunter then puts some music on so he can enjoy himself while fighting demons. He easily defeats them, but quickly realizes that his shop has been destroyed. A few more demons wait for him outside, but using his sword and pistols, Dante takes care of them. As he is done fighting, a huge tower suddenly emerges from the ground. Virgil is standing on top of this tower, showing us that he is still working on his plan to open the demon world. Dante takes a good look at his brother, remarking that it's been a year since they last met. On top of the tower, Arkham pays Virgil a visit, and their conversation reveals that this tower is what they call Temen Ni Gru, the place that used to be the link between the demon and the human world. Virgil wants to know if Dante still has his half of the amulet, and is happy to hear that he has it. In the meantime, Mary arrives near the tower, but she is ambushed by a few demons. She uses her motorcycle to burn the demons and ride away. I will not tell you who Mary is yet, in order to not spoil the game, so I guess you'll have to keep watching. Anyways, Dante has already started climbing the tower in order to reach his brother. However, before he can do that, he has to get through a powerful demon, who has been placed at the entrance of the tower to prevent the unworthy from getting in. It's a demon that resembles the monster Cerberus from ancient Greek mythology. In simpler terms, it is a dog with 3 heads. After a brief fight, Dante defeats the demon and is deemed worthy of entering. The demon then gives its soul to Dante in the form of a weapon, which Dante can now use to fight. Mary soon crashes the party, as well as has an initial encounter with Dante. The demon hunter tries talking to her, but Mary attacks him with a missile, which Dante rides like a surfboard. Realizing that fighting a man who rides missiles for fun is not a good idea, Mary flees inside the tower with her motorcycle. Dante soon follows her inside, but he gets stuck in the front of a big door after killing some enemies. A creature named Jester appears to tell Dante that he needs to use a trick to open this door instead of violence. Dante does not trust him, but Jester shows him how to open the door. However, a few flying demons come to life when the door is opened, and Dante has to fight them. After he defeats them, Dante has to fight Jester as well. Jester loses to Dante, but uses an energy portal to escape before dying. Soon, Dante encounters 2 more demons guarding yet another gate. After defeating them, the bodies of the demons disappear, but their faces remain stuck on the swords they used to wield. The demons have waited for a long time to meet somebody stronger than them, so they plead with Dante to take the swords and use them in battle. Dante grabs them and moves on. Meanwhile, Mary is ambushed by some demons, but luckily for her, they are neither smart enough nor skillful enough to kill her. She then finds the person she has been looking for, Arkham. Here, it is revealed that Mary is actually Arkham's daughter and holds a grudge against her father, blaming him for her mother's death. Mary tries shooting Arkham, but she can't get him. Arkham is strong and fast, so he easily overpowers his daughter and throws her off the tower. Mary shoots some blind bullets, and one of them manages to scratch Arkham's face. Mary goes into a freefall, but Dante grabs her foot. Although she has just been saved, she decides to shoot Dante in the face and goes on a freefall again. She eventually manages to save herself using an RPG. Dante is not hurt by the bullet and walks away, leaving Mary to do whatever she likes. Then, Dante climbs to the top of the tower to meet his brother. Virgil believes that it is a shame Dante rejects his true nature, but this talk doesn't lead them anywhere. The brothers start fighting, and they appear to be evenly matched. Eventually, the brothers rush at one another and try to push as hard as they can, which leads to Virgil knocking Dante Dante's sword out of his hand and impaling him. He then grabs Dante's amulet as his brother falls to the ground. Dante starts moving again, but Virgil finishes him. Arkham appears to ask Virgil if he has the amulet so they can break Sparda's spell. However, at that moment, Dante's demonic power awakens within him and he gets up full of wrath. Arkham suggests to Virgil that this is not the time to start another fight because they have more important things to do, and the two of them flee. Dante then collapses out of exhaustion but recovers after some time and goes after his brother. Dante is then stalled for a while because he is swallowed by a monster while Arkham opens the gate to the demon world. Virgil steps right into it while Dante fights his way out of the beast. Once he is out, he finds Mary and asks her name, but the woman refuses to give it to him. Dante decides to simply call her Lady, and he quickly leaves because his priority is to find his brother. Meanwhile, Virgil senses something is wrong with Arkham and asks him if he feels bad about his daughter. Arkham replies that it's none of his business, but Virgil does not like his tone. Sparda's son impales Arkham with his sword, telling him that he has no use for him now that he has access to the demon world. Also, he believes that Arkham can't reach his potential because love holds him back. Soon, Dante finds Arkham's body while Mary follows behind him. Mary attacks Dante out of anger, but for Dante, this fight feels like dancing. Mary explains that Arkham was obsessed with becoming the devil, so obsessed that he killed her mother. Mary is only angry because she wanted to kill Arkham herself. When she calms down, Dante leaves and Arkham speaks to Mary with his last breath. He claims that he was possessed and manipulated by Virgil. He outlines Virgil's plan to Mary and asks her to stop him before he brings chaos to this world. As Dante roams through the tower, a variety of creatures appear to fight him. At some point, a powerful demon appears and gives Dante a hard time. However, he eventually manages to blind the demon with his sword and repel the monster, but the demon promises to come back to finish the job. Then, a cutscene shows us that the Forbidden Book has been left behind while Arkham's body has been moved. Elsewhere, Dante gets a hold of an energetic sphere that sucks his power. Jester appears to inform the demon hunter that the sphere sucks the soul of the person who holds it. Then Jester remarks that Virgil is heading to the control room in the basement of the tower to open the door to hell. Dante has to hurry up if he wants to prevent his brother from destroying the human world. Dante gets on his way to the control room, but he is interrupted many times by monsters and demons. This buys Virgil enough time to reach the control room. He combines the two pieces of the amulet and then cuts his hand to initiate the process with his demonic blood. However, despite everything, the gate to hell does not open. It's then that Dante appears in front of Virgil and the two engage in a fight again. They are evenly matched again, but Mary soon appears as well to attack Virgil, which causes absolute chaos. However, once they are all tired, Jester interrupts them to give them a speech. Jester is then revealed to be Arkham, who took this clown form to lure Dante into this place. He needed everybody here, including Mary. He needed all of them alive, and that's why he had to be careful. The missing piece to break the spell is the blood of a human. This is why Mary has a part in this. Arkham spills Mary's blood and the spell finally starts breaking. Arkham's rivals surround him, but he reminds them that the spell is being broken. He attacks all three of them and announces that he is going to absorb the power of Sparda to become invincible. While this takes place, Virgil is lost in the demonic world while Dante grabs Mary's hand before she is lost too. A new majestic tower emerges with Arkham waiting to reap the fruits of his efforts. When Mary is safe, she voices that she feels responsible for this mess. She had the chance to kill her father earlier, but she did not do it. She then uses her RPG to launch a hook and climb the tower. Dante tells her to hurry up because he might get to the top first. The road ahead is going to be rough, but Dante is used to it. While Dante fights off demons, Arkham begins the ritual to gain Sparda's powers. He calls the names of the demons that correspond to the 7 deadly sins and invites them to wreak havoc on this world. As it appears, Arkham's grand plan is to be the ruler of the world once demons overpower humans. Soon enough, Dante stumbles on Mary again, who is taking a break from climbing the tower. However, Mary attempts to stop Dante from climbing further because she wants to kill her father herself. The two of them engage in a fight, and Mary tries to use her brain to defeat Dante, but is ultimately defeated. Mary finally decides to stand down and let Dante handle Arkham because he is the only one who has the power to do so. To console her, Dante tells her that this is a family matter to him too, because his father sealed the demons away whilst his brother is trying to free them. Before he leaves, Mary gives him her RPG to use in battle. Meanwhile, Arkham finds Sparda's sword, Force Edge and uses the amulets so he can pull it from the ground, where it's resting. With this, Arkham becomes even more powerful and the sword aids him to transform into a demon. After completing countless challenges, Dante finally finds Arkham and both of them know that there is only one way they can resolve their differences. Arkham takes another form and the two rivals start fighting. The monster is strong, but it can't get to Dante. On the other hand, Dante can't seem to defeat it. All of a sudden, Virgil appears and cuts one of the monster's hands. Virgil clarifies that he is not here to fight Arkham because he likes Dante, but rather because he knows Dante can't handle the monster on his own. With that important information out of the way, the brothers attack Arkham together. They fight side by side for the first time in their lives, and it's pretty cool to watch. They are open to trying each other's tactics, and they eventually defeat Arkham, who completely loses his powers. Seeing Force Edge and the amulets fall into the demonic world, the brothers take a dive without a second thought. While free-falling, both of them manage to grab their respective parts of the amulet. At the same time, Arkham is powerless and crawls back to the tower. Mary sees him and points a gun at him. Arkham claims that what he did was not that bad. He pleads with Mary to spare him, but the young woman tells him that her name is Lady. She then shoots him to complete her vengeance. As for the Sons of Sparda, they have descended into the demon world. Immediately, Virgil starts asking for Dante's amulet again. Dante tries to talk him out of his craziness, but Virgil wants to be more powerful, and there is no way he will stand down. This leaves Dante with no other choice but to fight his brother yet again. However, the portal to the human world is slowly closing because the amulets have been separated, so Dante has to act fast. Dante delivers a heavy blow to his brother, but during it, Virgil manages to cut the amulet from Dante's neck. Since there is no way to change Virgil's mind, Dante grabs his sword and gets out. Meanwhile, Mary is waiting outside the tower. When the two of them meet, Mary notices that Dante is crying because he lost his brother, concluding that even devils may cry when they lose somebody they love. The two of them decide to work together to keep killing demons who live in the human world, and they reopen Dante's shop, naming it Devil May Cry. The game ends with Virgil in the demon world as he encounters the Prince of Darkness, Mundus. He believes that since his father defeated him, he can do the same, and charges at the demon. However, despite his optimism, Virgil isn't strong enough and is soon defeated. In his weakened state, Mundus recreated Virgil as Nilo Angelo, removing his human heart, will, and ego, essentially making Virgil his puppet. Devil May Cry 1 starts with Dante in his office. However, all of a sudden, a mysterious woman drops from a portal in the sky. The woman barges into Dante's store and asks him if he is the son of Sparda. Dante is suspicious of her, so he quickly pulls his sword out. The woman, Trish, grabs the sword and delivers an electric shock through it. She knocks Dante down, then attacks him with his own sword. Trish grabs her motorcycle to throw it at Dante, but the demon hunter has had enough and uses his pistols to destroy it. Afterwards, Trish is easily overpowered. She then tells Dante that she needs him to make sure that the forces of evil will stay away. When Trish removes her glasses, Dante can't help but notice that she looks a lot like his mother. Anyways, Trish starts telling Dante about Mundus, the Lord of the Demons. Although he was defeated by Sparda 2,000 years ago, Mundus has gradually regained his power. He is now working on a plan to come to the human world through the gate on Mallet Island. Obviously, Dante can't let this happen, so he follows Trish to the island. Once they arrive, they see a huge castle and enter it to find a way to stop Mundus. For now, Dante has to trust Trish because he isn't really sure what's going on in the castle. However, it's obvious that there's a demonic presence in it. Dante is soon attacked by several demons, but he easily deals with them. After dealing with even more demons, Dante finds a powerful sword called Alastor. The sword is magical and it attacks Dante, impaling him on the ground. Dante takes some damage, but he recovers fast. Then he grabs the sword and keeps it to use in battle. He will get the chance to try this sword out real soon since the demons come to attack him again. The demons come in a variety of forms, such as jesters and scarecrows. No matter their form, their goal is the same: to kill Dante. Soon, Dante is put to the real test as he is attacked by one of Mundus' most powerful soldiers, a scorpion spider demon. This demon is on the hunt for blood and is disappointed when it sees that it's going to catch something small again. However, this demon has no idea about the power Dante possesses despite his human size. The two of them battle and Dante eventually defeats the monster. As he continues his journey through the castle, Dante has to solve various puzzles to get from one room to the other. In one particular room, Dante sees a reflection of himself himself, and this reflection walks right outside the magical mirror. The reflection then takes the form of a demon who invites Dante to a fight. Although Dante doesn't know it, this demon is actually Virgil, under Mundus's control, now known as Nilo Angelo. Dante can't back down from this challenge, so he engages in a fight with the demon. The battle is tight, but surprisingly enough, the demon overpowers Dante. After kicking him into a wall, the demon lifts him in the air. But then he starts having second thoughts when he sees Dante's amulet. Nilo Angelo releases Dante and starts experiencing severe pain, remembering some of his human memories. Eventually, the demon runs away, giving Dante enough time to catch his breath. Meanwhile, Trish is nowhere to be found. She has left Dante on his own. Dante returns inside the castle and keeps fighting waves of demons. His old friend, the scorpion spider demon, is still alive and attacks him again, asking for another round. Although you have to admire this monster's stamina, Dante defeats it once more. In its dying breath, the demon remarks that Dante is no ordinary man. Wow, how did he figure that out? Anyway, Dante lets the demon know that he is the son of Sparta, which makes the demon regret picking a fight with him. As it appears, Trish has watched this entire battle from the shadows and comments that Dante possesses incredible power. She did not expect that he would be able to defeat the huge spider. Dante continues on his path to find Mundus, but the castle feels like a maze. He has to escape a few traps and solve a few puzzles to open the gates of the building. Of course, demons lurk around every room, and they are happy to attack Dante every chance they get. Dante is having a hard time in this castle, but this adventure also helps him discover the true strength he has been hiding within him. Soon, Dante is challenged by another strong demon in the form of a giant eagle. This demon is tough to fight because it attacks from the air, keeping its distance. However, that's not a problem for Dante as he uses his pistols to defeat it, killing yet another strong demon. It also feels like there is no one that can stop Dante. Nevertheless, the master of the scarecrows has a different opinion, so he appears to challenge Dante along with his minions. This demon is so weak that it almost feels like a waste of time for Dante to fight it, but better kill it now than later. After clearing this area, the Nilo Angelo appears before Dante again. The two of them engage in their second duel, but this time, Dante wins. The demon lies defeated on the floor, but is taken away with magic. Then, Dante has to fight Griffin and eventually defeats it as well. However, the demon then asks its master, Mundus, to grant it another surge of power to kill Dante. However, Mundus is disappointed in Griffin, so the master of demons appears in the sky personally to kill it, before disappearing with a laugh. While all this is happening, Dante takes a good look at Mundus, who reminds him of something. Anyways, Trish soon appears behind Dante to praise his power, but the demon hunter is focused on something else. For some reason, Dante feels it in his bones, and Mundus is the one who killed his mother. Dante despises him because Mundus has no honor. He even kills his own soldiers. Dante resumes searching for Mundus, even though countless demons get in his way. Then, he encounters Nilo Angelo again. Dante praises him because this is a demon who fights with guts and honor, even though it is a shame he is serving Mundus. The demon then takes a different form, resembling a human, and the two of them start fighting. Once Dante wins, it is apparent that something is off with the demon. Nilo Angelo then disappears again, but not before dropping Virgil's half of the amulet. Dante holds it in his hand and recalls his mother's voice wishing her sons a happy birthday. Elsewhere, Mundus speaks to Trish via a statue. He proclaims that Virgil has been defeated and urges her to do what she has to do. Dante unites the two halves of the amulet, and they release an energy wave that reshapes Force Edge to its demonic form. After killing some more weak demons, Dante finds Trish trapped in a demon's lair. Dante proceeds to help her, but he is interrupted by the strong demon who lives in the lair. Dante fights the demon, but right before he can kill it, Trish attacks him from behind. Dante is surprised, but he has to get over it fast and keep fighting. While he defends himself from Trish, Dante kills the demon, which causes the entire lair to shake. A marble column is about to fall on Trish, but Dante manages to save her. Trish did not expect this, so she asks Dante why he saved her. Dante tells her that it's because she looks like his mother. Trish runs after him before he leaves, but Dante stops her, saying that she might look like his mother, but she is nowhere near her character. Mundus then speaks to Trish, telling her that he is disappointed and that she has to adhere to his rules. When Dante sees Trish again, she is trapped by Mundus. Dante wants to save her, but Mundus attacks him. As he is about to attack again, Trish pushes Dante out of the way and absorbs the hit. Dante is now seriously mad at Mundus and wants to end him. Mundus concentrates his power and transfers Dante to another dimension so they can properly fight each other. Before they start fighting, however, Dante wants to know why Mundus killed his mother. Instead of giving him an answer, Mundus says that he can create as many mothers as Dante needs, just like he created Trish. Dante has heard enough. He takes on his demon form for the first time in his life, and the battle begins. At first, the two of them keep a distance and use their magical powers to attack. Mundus has many tricks under his sleeve, but so does Dante. Eventually, Dante is hit hard and is forced to return to his human form. Despite this, Dante can still use his demonic powers, such as attacking with energy spheres. It's quickly apparent that this is by far the strongest enemy Dante has ever taken on. However, showcasing his stamina and control, Dante manages to overcome the demon lord and finally defeats him. So, the demon of the underworld, Mundus, dissolves into dust. After his big win, Dante returns to the castle to find Trish seemingly dead. He cries over her body and his tears fall onto her. Dante expresses that Trish gave her life for him just like his mother did. He removes the amulet from his neck and rests it on Trish's body. Then, he places Force Edge on the ground next to her so she can rest in peace. Dante proceeds to leave the castle, but suddenly Mundus appears again in the disfigured shape, telling Dante that the gate has been opened. This time, Dante has to fight him in close quarters, but manages to defeat him once again. Even so, Dante has no idea how to seal the gate, but that's when Trish appears and transfers her power to Dante, prompting him to use it. Dante uses her powers to successfully send Mundus back to hell and seal the gate. Mundus promises that he will come back, but Dante jokes, telling him to give his regards to his son when he returns. Now that they are safe, Dante and Trish hug. Trish starts crying and Dante messes with her, saying that devils never cry. Only humans do. Trish believes it is too late for them because the castle is collapsing, but Dante uses a small plane to get them out of there. Dante and Trish decide to stick together. Trish becomes his sidekick and they reopen Dante's business, naming it Devil Never Cry. The first episode of the anime starts with Dante visiting a bar and picking a fight with a couple of guys playing cards. It is soon revealed that these guys are actually demons in human forms. The next morning, Dante gets a visit in his office. His agent, Morrison, asks him to take care of a young girl named Patty. The task is simple. Dante has to escort her to her family mansion. The demon hunter rejects the job initially, but then Morrison challenges him in a game of billiards. If Dante wins, they will go away. If Dante loses, he will accept the job. Although Dante is an excellent demon hunter, he's apparently not that good at billiards, so he loses and has to take the job. In the meantime, we can see that Patty's uncles are worried because if the girl arrives in the mansion, she will be the new owner. Later, Dante and Patty are riding the train. A man sits next to them, but he is suddenly killed in the dark when the train passes through a tunnel. Everyone wants to know who killed the man, and we soon learn that there's a demon lurking nearby. The demon tries to get to Patty, but Dante easily kills it. Then, Dante takes the girl to the motel. Right before they go to sleep, the girl proclaims that she does not care about her inheritance. She just wants some money to buy clothes and sweets for all the children at the orphanage she came from. That night, Patty escapes from Dante to meet with a woman that looks like her mother. However, this proves to be a trap set by demons. Dante soon arrives to save her before it's too late. Meanwhile, an adult version of Patty arrives at the mansion and reveals to her uncles that she is the real Patty. The little girl Dante is protecting was just a decoy, so the real one could arrive at the mansion safely. One of the uncles suddenly transforms into a demon and attacks everybody, but Dante arrives just in time to save her. Adult Patty then offers part of the inheritance to young Patty to thank them for saving her life, and the little girl moves to live with Dante in his office. After some time, we can see two professional racers riding at night. One of them wants to push his limits and ride very fast, however the other motorcycle rides past him. While the racer focuses on the motorcycle in front of him, he is suddenly absorbed into some kind of trance. This causes an accident and the racer dies. A few days later, Lady appears in Dante's office to offer him a job. Dante doesn't want to hear about it because Lady usually brings him jobs that do not pay well. Nevertheless, he is forced to help her out because he owes her some money. Lady takes Dante to a joint where they meet Vincent. the brother of the dead racer. Vincent is trying to find Red Eye, the man his brother was racing that night. Lady suggests that Vincent races Dante because this might lure Red Eye to them. If this guy is such a legend on the road, he will not resist an opportunity to race. Dante races against Vincent, and they push the mechanical limits of their bikes. Just as predicted, Red Eye appears in front of Vincent and forces him into a hallucination. Vincent thinks he's seeing his brother and starts riding even faster. Dante understands this and causes some mayhem on the bridge they are passing by in order to wake Vincent up. The plan works, and Lady joins the scene to fight Red Eye, who proves to be a demon disguised as a motorcycle. As Dante stalls the demon, Lady uses her RPG to kill it. She then collects the payment for the job all on her own because Dante is in debt to her anyway, while Vincent visits the demon hunter to thank him for keeping him alive. In the third episode, the mayor of the city invites Dante into his office to give him an assignment. The mayor has a daughter, Angelina, who is dating a man named Bradley. However, this is not just a fatherly investigation, and it's much more serious. The mayor informs Dante that there is a serial killer running loose around the city. The murders he conducts are so gruesome that some say this killer is not even human. According to the mayor, Bradley is the serial killer. He has come to this conclusion because he has seen him do magic with his own eyes. Angelina, Mayor's daughter, overhears this and runs to her boyfriend to warn him. She suggests they leave the city together, but Bradley reassures her that they will have nothing to fear because he is innocent. That night, Dante follows Bradley into a bar and starts a conversation with him to learn more about him. Then, Dante follows Bradley and sees him chatting with a demon in an alley. As it appears, this other demon is responsible for the murders. He also reveals that their master is coming to this world tonight. Eventually, Dante kills this demon but lets Bradley live, even though he is a demon too, because he is one of the good guys and is in love with Angelina. Bradley then informs Dante that he was summoned to this world by a human to work as a spy for his master. In the meantime, the mayor's butler suddenly kills the mayor as a form of sacrifice, because as it turns out, he is the human who summoned Bradley in the first place. Then, the butler threatens to kill Angelina too, but Dante appears to stop him. The demon master is about to enter the human world, but Dante slashes it and sends it back to hell. Bradley uses his powers to cure the mayor while Dante walks away, saying that Bradley will do a good job living as a human. Elsewhere, Lady saves a poor man who is being hunted by a demon. Then she sees Trish, Dante's friend, and attacks her. A flashback shows us that a priest has led Lady to believe that there is a demon who can command lightning. Seeing the woman control such power, Lady assumes that Trish is a demon. After a short battle, Trish flees. Lady visits Dante to ask him about the lightning commanding demon, but he has no idea what she is talking about. However, once Lady is gone, he realizes that she is talking about Trish. Shortly after, the two women encounter one another again, and they turn the church into a complete mess. They are both determined to win, but the fight seems balanced. Eventually, Dante drops by to stop them. He starts a conversation with Trish, but Lady wants to know what this is about. Dante explains that Trish is his former partner. If Lady wants to kill a demon today, she should focus on the priest instead. The priest is then revealed to be a demon who tried to trick the two women into fighting one another so he could get rid of them. However, this plan backfires as the hunters work together to kill the priest. This short adventure ends with Lady and Trish skipping town together. Oh, also, they bought some clothes from a store and sent the bill to Dante. The fifth episode centers around the crazy things we do for love. A man named Isaac is in love with a waitress named Cindy, but she likes Dante more than him. So Isaac becomes obsessed with Dante and follows him around, trying to warn Cindy to stay away from him because there is something wrong with this guy. One night, Isaac breaks into Dante's office and he is greeted by a demon named Sid. The demon gives Isaac a box containing a bell. When Isaac opens this box and grabs the bell, he is attacked by a demon. Dante saves him and Isaac tells Cindy that Dante fights monsters. Heartbroken, Isaac decides to skip town, but Dante follows him to let him know that the bell he got is used to summon demons into this world. After killing one more demon, Dante destroys the bell with his pistol. In the following days, Dante receives another job to protect some treasure hunters on a looting mission. Led by a man named Tim, the treasure hunters find some valuable old vinyl records. Tim decides to play one of the records, recorded by singer Ellen Hudson, but this causes a siren demon to appear. Tim almost recognizes the siren as Eleanor, and Dante fights her off. Then a flashback reveals the backstory of Tim and Eleanor. Eleanor loved singing and Tim worked as her agent since they trusted each other because they used to be childhood friends. However, Eleanor had a strong hunger for being famous and blamed Tim for not arranging bigger concerts for her. The Siren Demon seized this opportunity and gradually poisoned Eleanor's soul. The Siren then spellbound anyone who would listen to Eleanor's music until she finally took control over her. After listening to this story, Dante and Tim play the record again. Dante kills the Siren, freeing Eleanor's soul and allowing her to pass to the afterlife. Elsewhere, a fisherman finds a mask that turns into a djinn. The djinn then tells the fisherman that it will grant him a wish. A few days later, a woman rushes into Dante's office to ask for help. Her brother, Gary, is in prison for murder, but there is no way he did it. So Dante beats up a few guys and allows himself to be imprisoned so he can meet Gary. Gary narrates what happened to him. He made 3 wishes to the djinn he found, but the creature did not grant him any. One night though, he had a fight with his best friend, Claude, and casually told him to drop dead. The djinn then appeared and granted those words as a wish, killing his best friend. Gary was blamed for the murder, and here they are. After a short while, the guards decide to release the inmates to hunt them for sport inside the prison. However, Dante quickly deals with them when he realizes they are demons. Meanwhile, Lady finds the djinn. Once Dante is out, he plays poker with Lady and cheats to win. Lady tells him to go to hell, and the djinn appears to grant her wish. Dante fights the creature and manages to kill it by slashing it in half. However, Sid appears out of nowhere to grab the 2 halves of the mask. He tells Dante that he respects him for his power before running away. A few days later, a man named Ernest mistakes Dante for his old friend Anthony. Anthony and his mother had been blamed for a fire that destroyed their town, but Ernest has found evidence that the town was destroyed by a fire-breathing demon. Although Dante is not Anthony, he investigates the case and discovers that Sid actually orchestrated everything to bring him here as a test. The fire-breathing demon is summoned and Dante has to fight it to prevent the town's destruction a second time. After defeating the demon, Dante takes the train home. However, Sid soon appears and tells him that everything he is doing is to assist Dante. The demon hunter grabs his sword, but Sid disappears. Back home, Dante is hired to find a demon known as the King, who eats the souls of gamblers who lose. Dante asks Lady for help and joins a game of death poker, having her pose as a dealer. When the time comes, Dante wins but then pretends to be enchanted and offers the dealer a game. Whoever shoots the other first wins. Lady shoots Dante and King reveals herself. It turns out that the demon is actually the woman who hired Dante in the first place. Nevertheless, Dante gets back up to reveal that everything was a plan he had set up with Lady. With no more words to be said, Dante kills the demon. Meanwhile, Sid summons the demon knight Baal to have him attack Dante. Baal's brother, Modius, also crosses to the world of the humans and befriends the good guys, trying to talk his brother out of Sid's plan. Soon, Baal attacks Dante, revealing that he used to be Sparda's apprentice. He now has some bitter feelings against his former master for betraying the demons. However, Dante is stronger than Baal and kills him. Modius wants revenge for his brother, so he takes his demon form and attacks Dante, only to fall by his sword as well. After this fearsome battle, Sid comes near to the dead bodies of the demons and proclaims that everything is going according to his plan. During the final 2 episodes of the anime, the action picks up as a woman named Nina visits Dante's office. Nina is a sorceress and Patty's mother. In case you don't remember, Patty is that little girl Dante protected in episode 1. Anyways, the woman is in possession of a pendant that she has inherited from her family. Demons have always wanted this pendant, but now the attacks are getting more frequent and she can't keep fighting them. Therefore, she needs somebody to safeguard the pendant. Dante accepts the job and is soon attacked by a demon who believes that he will gain immense power if he touches the pendant. Despite his ambitions, Dante kills him. The next day, Patty steals the pendant to go find her mother. The girl finds her, but Nina has been abducted by Sid and she is being kept by him in a hotel. Now that the pendant has come to him, Sid uses it to open a gate to hell. Dante rushes in with Morrison and tells him to get everyone out before jumping through the gate. Sid proclaims that he has accessed the legacy of Abigail, the most powerful demon of them all, and he is now ready to fight Dante. Dante attacks Sid and seemingly drops him, but the demon is more powerful now. Sid soon recovers and impales Dante with rebellion, crucifying him. With Dante trapped in hell and the gates of the demon world open, his friends have to team up in order to put an end to this chaos. Patty runs inside the hotel to descend to hell to find Dante. Nina follows her and Morrison does the same. Meanwhile, Lady and Trish stay back to fight against the hordes of demons who are invading the human world. This adventure gives Nina some time to think about her past actions. She apologizes to her daughter for leaving her, but she had to do what she had to do. Leaving Patty ensured that she would be safe. The group is then attacked by a few demons, but Patty screams Dante's name and her own pendant attacks the demons. Opening another gate to hell, Patty jumps right through it without a second thought. In the meantime, Trish and Lady keep fighting. They defeat the weaker demons, but they can't defeat Sid, who is now infused with Abigail's powers. Patty soon finds Dante and frees him, but she is taken by Sid. However, Dante recovers and attacks several demons who are keeping his friends prisoners. Dante finally goes after Sid again, and although the demon is incredibly powerful, Dante manages to defeat him and Sid loses all of his powers. He desperately attacks Dante one last time, but the demon hunter kills him with his pistol. Now that everything has fallen into place, the things can get back to normal. Morrison is about to take Dante to another demon killing job, but his friends, Lady and Trish, are heading to the same place. They agree that anyone who arrives there first will collect the reward money. Devil May Cry 2. Dante's story continues in The Devil May Cry 2. The opening scene introduces us to Lucia, a young woman standing in front of a sacred medallia in a museum. The sacred coin attracts a few demons, who immediately attack Lucia. The young woman tries to fight them off, but she needs some help from Dante to get rid of all of them. The battle shakes the museum up and the medallia rolls on Dante's feet. The demon hunter has no interest in it, so he gives the coin to the young woman. Before leaving, however, Lucia throws a knife on a map, indicating the location where Dante can find her. The demon hunter follows the lead and finds himself on a remote island known as Vie di Mali. After being attacked and defeating a few demons, Dante finds Lucia just in time to save her from an explosion. Then, Lucia introduces him to her mother, Matière. The woman claims that she knew Dante's father, Spada. According to her, the memories of her clan are the protectors of the island. In the past, her clan fought alongside Spada against the demons. Today, the island is caught up in a new conflict. A man named Arius, the president of an international corporation, has turned the island into a demon paradise. Although he appears to be a businessman, he uses demonic power to achieve success. Dante rests his next decision on a coin flip. The coin lands on tails, he will not help. If it lands on heads, he will. The coin lands on heads, so Dante proceeds to help Matière. The demon hunter enters a catacomb to make it to his next location, but the road ahead is full of traps. Apart from solving puzzles and avoiding traps, Dante also has to fight the demons who try to get in his way. When he makes it to the other side, a powerful demon awaits him. This demon has the ability to create energy portals on the ground, producing fumes that can hurt Dante. Dante's experience in battle guides him to avoid these nasty tricks until he gets close to the demon. Then, he uses his sword to slay it. Of course, even more powerful demons try to stop Dante at every turn, but all of them fail. In the meantime, a powerful demon appears and watches Dante from a distance. Later, Dante encounters a demon tank. Yep, apparently that's a thing as well. The tank is very slow for Dante's speed and skill, so he defeats it easily. But then Dante meets his match when he's attacked by a demon helicopter. This infested chopper can hurt him in so many ways. It has missiles, it has machine guns, and many more weapons. Dante can't defeat this enemy by merely being strong, so he has to strategize and get the chopper exactly where he wants it in order to bring it down. His next challenger is a monster that forms out of a building. This demon is kind of stuck to the building, from which it comes and shoots a huge laser beam from its mouth. Dante avoids getting hit and defeats the monster. However, the demon's head detaches from its body and comes after the demon hunter for round 2. Once more, Dante wins. Then Dante sees an Ouroboros helicopter passing above this area. The helicopter lands on a rig near the island, and the demon hunter follows it. Dante fights his way through the levels of the rig until he gets to the top. There, he sees Arius, ready to enter the helicopter. Dante would love to stop him right here and now, but Arius is in a hurry to go somewhere. He snaps his fingers to open a portal from where a strong demon appears. As Arius flies away in the helicopter, Dante is left behind to fight the demon. Dante has no trouble defeating it, but it's a bit too late since Arius is already long gone. Despite him fleeing, Dante can't give up, and he makes his way back out of the rig, defeating countless demons who try to get a piece of him. Dante gets on his motorcycle and rides fast until he gets to the next point of interest. The bad guys are sick of losing their demons to Dante, so the powerful creature who was watching Dante earlier appears along with his wolves. All of them attack Dante together, and the demon hunter is pushed to his absolute limits. The battle is harsh, with Dante receiving many hits, but he is eventually able to gain the upper hand. The demon realizes that he is falling behind, so he disappears, leaving to fight another day. Then Dante finds Lucia and asks her if she has found what she was looking for. Lucia presents him with an ancient cup, but she also voices that she is not worthy of such power. Lucia claims she has one more thing to do, so she gives the cup to Dante and asks him to bring it to Matiere. As Lucia walks away, a powerful demon awakens to fight Dante, but its fate is simple: to fall by his sword. Later, Dante finds Matiere to give her the cup. Matiere calls the cup an arcana, and it seems to be the last arcana they have been looking for. Nevertheless, Matiere denies taking it. She informs Dante that Lucia went to face Arius all by herself. She presents Dante with a few more arcanas and asks him to go find her daughter. Dante rests this decision on a coin once more. He flips it and sees heads, which means he is going to help. Meanwhile, Lucia has been taken by Arius and she asks him to kill her. However, Arius wants to keep her alive so she can see him get a hold of all the arcanas. Dante soon crashes the party to give Arius a taste of his cold blade. Dante quickly has the villain on his knees and listens to him mumbling that he has to acquire the power of the demon Argosax in order to become immortal. Dante tries to finish him, but Arius avoids his sword. Instead of attacking Dante, he attacks Lucia, so Dante is forced to focus on saving her. This buys Arius some time to cast a spell and unleash a huge attack. Dante jumps out of the building with Lucia in his arms, using his demon form to fly to safety. Lucia feels bad since they did not kill Arius because of her. She wonders if there was a point in saving her, revealing that she was actually created by Arius. Dante has no interest in contemplating these thoughts and is focused on getting back inside the building to face Arius once more. Dante pushes his way through the building until he meets the demon from earlier. The two of them have some unfinished business, which Dante easily resolves, killing the demon for good this time. The next stop for Dante is an area where he has to fight a demon consisting only of a head, and not one head, but the three of them. Nevertheless, Dante defeats the monster. As the moon covers the sun, Arius prepares to start his ritual. He tries to claim the power of Argosax for himself, but something is off. Dante comes near him to reveal that when he gave him the relics earlier, he switched the medallia with his own coin. Therefore, the ritual fails. As Arius sees his dream being destroyed right in front of his eyes, he attacks Dante full of anger, but is not strong enough to do anything. Dante allows him to say his final words and then shoots him dead with his pistols. Lucia is happy they defeated Arius, but now she wants Dante to kill her. She believes that she is a devil as well, since she was created by Arius, and fears that she might attack humans if she loses control. However, their conversation is suddenly interrupted when the gate to the demon world opens. The two argue about who will jump into hell to stop Argosax, and Dante suggests they should leave it to fate. He will flip his coin. If it's heads, he will go. If it's tails, Lucia will go. Once again, it's heads, so Dante has to go. Right before jumping into hell, Dante gives Lucia his coin to keep it safe for him. Then he finds Argosax and fights him. This demon is strong beyond imagination, and he unleashes various attacks. Despite everything, Dante manages to survive and wins the first round. Argosax changes his form to embody the demon of despair, but Dante charges at him without a second thought. After serving him a good beating, Dante approaches the demon and kills him with his pistol. Eventually, Dante rides his bike and says that he will ride all the way to hell, concluding the adventures of this game. Devil May Cry 4 introduces us to a new important character, Nero, who is a descendant of Sparda's bloodline. For the first time in the franchise, Nero will be the protagonist of the game instead of Dante, at least for the first half. Anyways, the story takes place on an island called Fortuna, and it opens with a woman, Kiri, singing in a cathedral. Her beautiful voice echoes through the streets whilst several demons make an appearance. Nero runs through the streets and slays those demons fast, because he needs to make it to the church to hear Kiri. This beautiful song is performed for the organization to which both of them belong, the Order of the Sword. This is a group that worships Sparta as a god. Once Nero arrives at the cathedral, the leader of the group takes the stage, High Priest Sanctus. He then talks about Sparta and his gift of saving humans. Nero is bored to death, but things turn up a notch when Dante breaks into the cathedral through the roof, with the sole purpose of shooting Sanctus. Everybody is surprised, and Credo prompts the group to attack Dante whilst Nero takes Kiri away. However, the woman returns to help Credo, who turns out to be her brother. Worrying about his love interest, Nero attacks Dante as well. Credo asks Nero to stall him until he brings some help. Nero fights Dante around the cathedral, and you can't help but notice that there are some similarities between the two of them. Nero pins Dante to the ground and pounds him good. Then he launches him high and impales him with Rebellion. Dante recovers fast and pulls himself out of the wall. Nero realizes that Dante is not a human, and the latter replies that they are the same. Then he points the young man to one of the cult's members to show him his true form, which is demonic. Nero demands some explanations, but Dante has to leave because he has more business to attend to. Soon, Kiri brings Nero his sword. Credo asks Nero to find the intruder while he heads back to the headquarters. At that moment, the ground starts shaking as more demons invade the island. Nero asks Credo to take everyone back to the headquarters while he takes care of the demons. As everyone runs for dear life, Nero shows the demons who's the boss around here. While roaming around the island, Nero finds a gate to hell. Suddenly, the demon's version of a centaur emerges from the gate, recounting that it's been 2,000 years since it last visited the human world. However, the demon isn't prepared for Nero and is soon defeated and vanished through the gate. Later, Nero encounters a woman being attacked by a bunch of demons. The woman almost enjoys this battle, easily slaying demons with her graceful moves. Nero asks her if she is from the Order, and the woman introduces herself as Gloria. Both of them have no idea where the demons keep coming from, but they part ways to take on different missions. Searching for Dante, Nero follows his traces to the library, where he finds some open books. Then a white knight appears behind Nero, and the latter is not sure if he is one of the good or bad guys. But his question is quickly answered once the knight attacks him without saying a word. However, he realizes that the knight is not a knight, but rather an empty armor. Some demons have possessed the armor of the Order, which is a really bad sign according to Nero. As the game progresses, Nero eventually defeats two female demons and has to fight a big frog-like monster. He easily defeats it as well, but then the demon says something about its brother getting revenge. Suddenly, Nero sees a bunch of frog demons trying to pass into the human world, so he rushes to seal the gate before it is too late. Despite this, the demons keep coming, which means that there are even more hell gates than he initially thought. Elsewhere, Credo is standing next to the High Priest's body. Sanctus comes back to life, but Credo is not surprised, almost like it's something you see every day. Another man appears to admire the priest, Agnes. Agnes snaps at Credo because he sent Nero after Dante, which may lead to him finding a secret lab. However, Sanctus interrupts them to ask Credo to gather everyone from the Order. He needs to ease their minds on this matter. Later, Nero finds the lab in question, and Agnes is right there with a floating sword that has been broken in half. Agnes is not really fond of Nero, so he takes some precautions to stop him and unleashes a herd of flying demons to attack him. Nero defeats the demons and holds Agnes under his blade. Agnes becomes interested in Nero's demonic hand and reveals that he has been experimenting on demons to harness their powers. Agnes also created the Hell Gates as substitutes for the real gate. Suddenly, three knights attack Nero and nail him to the wall. Agnes reveals that his research has yielded some results, and he can now control some demons. Then, he impales Nero with a sword, as he announces that the young man will become his new project. Nero passes out for a brief moment, but he hears Kiri's voice in the dark and wakes up infused with demonic energy. Also, the floating sword reassembles itself and flies to Nero's hand. This is not just any sword, this is Yamato, the sword that Virgil used to carry. Agnes takes on his demon form and flies away, while Nero heads to the headquarters. Agnes eventually reaches Sanctus. He is very upset and blames Credo again for Nero discovering his lab. When he informs them that Nero has Yamato, Sanctus asks Credo to go after the kid. However, somebody has to take care of Dante as well, so Gloria offers to go after him. As Gloria pretends to leave, she listens to them talking about her identity. Credo is worried, but Sanctus says they will take action only if a situation arises. In the meantime, Nero defeats lots of demons until he encounters Credo. The look on his face says it all. He wants a fight. Credo transforms into a demon, although he views himself as an angel, the next step of evolution. Nero defeats Credo, but he stops when Kiri sees them. She doesn't understand what's going on. Nero tries to explain it to her, but Agnes appears and grabs her. As it turns out, Sanctus predicted Credo's defeat and asked Agnes to utilize Kiri as leverage. Soon, Nero finds Kiri being kept by Agnes. Agnes wants Nero to fight him if he wants to get his girlfriend back. Nero obliges and happily defeats Agnes. However, just as he is about to finish him, a swarm of Order armors attack Nero. Sanctus also appears to take Kiri away once again. Nero jumps high to catch her, but he only manages to grab her necklace. Filled with anger, Nero destroys every demon in the area. Soon, Dante appears, saying that he needs to get the Yamato because it belonged to his brother and it can be used to seal the gates between the two worlds. However, Nero wants to keep the sword, so the two of them engage in a fight. Eventually, after some struggle, Dante beats Nero and tells him that the sword should stay with the family. Since Nero is family and he has now cooled off, he can keep the sword. Nero goes ahead with Yamato while Gloria appears to meet Dante. Dante laughs as soon as he sees her, and Gloria is revealed to be Trish. She was using a disguise in order to spy on the Order this whole time. Meanwhile, Nero finds Sanctus standing on top of a giant statue, the Savior. Sanctus invites Nero to join Kiri inside the Savior, where she is trapped. Sanctus's grand plan is to use Nero to fuel the core of the Savior. Nero attacks Sanctus and delivers some hits, but he is grabbed by the Savior, who has been activated. Credo then tries to assist Nero, but he is killed by Sanctus, who is way more powerful than him. Dante also appears along with Trish and prompts Nero not to give up. The young man uses his demonic power to attack once more, but Sanctus is devious and stays on top of the situation. Due to this, Nero is weakened and he loses consciousness. When he regains it, he realizes that he has been absorbed by the Savior and his energy will soon be sucked out of him. The Savior starts moving as Credo speaks his final words. He believes that Sanctus will use the Savior to open the real gate of hell, which lies dormant beneath the city. Meanwhile, Agnes releases more demons into the human world. The people of the Order are terrified, but Sanctus appears with Savior and pretends that he is there to save them. Apparently, the plan of the priest is to make people believe that he is the leader they need in order to stay alive, maybe even to be worshipped as a god by them. As Dante heads to the main city to get closer to Sanctus, a flashback is triggered, showing us how Dante got on this island in the first place. Dante was hanging out with Trish, eating some pizza, when Lady visited them to tell them about the Order of the Sword. According to her, they worship Sparta as a god, and they have been gathering some artifacts. Lady wanted Dante to investigate them just in case they had some bad intentions. So, here he is. Dante kills many demons and he destroys a hellgate he finds along the way. Apart from the demons, Dante also has to kill the knights. Although they pretend to be the good guys when they are around people, they really hate Dante and try to prevent him from getting near Sanctus. Later, Dante encounters a centaur demon, staring at Savior and Sanctus. Even this demon doesn't like the fact that a human is posing as a god. Then he is interrupted by Dante, who is chilling, sitting on his tail. The demon won't miss a chance to fight the son of Sparta, but is easily defeated. Then, Dante takes a good look at the Savior, commenting that he doesn't look that big from where he is standing. Afterwards, Dante heads into the deepest parts of the community to find the Yamato, but Agnes appears in front of him with his theatrics. As usual, Dante beats his opponent after he takes his demon form. He then tells him that he shouldn't underestimate humans. Although they lack the physical abilities of a demon, their souls are powerful. Agnes takes some notes for his research, but Dante finishes him off. Next, Dante retrieves the Yamato sword and destroys a big hellgate. Trish comes near him for help, but Dante asks her to get everyone as far away as possible because things are going to get messy as he fights the Savior. Before this big battle, Sanctus tries to talk Dante out of it. He even tries to bring him to his side. Nevertheless, Dante stays true to his cause and attacks the Savior. The Savior is pretty much resistant to attacks, and on top of that, it can also unleash powerful attacks. Dante comes up with a sneaky strategy to destroy the energy signature that keeps the Savior together. After destroying those energy sources one by one, Dante nails the Yamato on the last one. Then he jumps backwards and shoots a few bullets at the sword, lining the bullets up on top of one another. This pushes the Yamato inside the creature right where Nero is being kept. Then Dante yells at him to take action. Nero grabs the Yamato with his hand and escapes the cell. As he gradually regains his powers, Nero searches the inside of the Savior to find Sanctus. Soon, Nero finds him and the two engage in a fight. Sanctus believes that Nero isn't strong enough, but is soon proven wrong as he gets defeated. As a last resort, Sanctus tries to use Kiri as leverage, but Nero uses Yamato to finish off the old man. Right outside, the Savior is attacking Dante, but it stops as it runs out of energy. Nero comes out of the Savior with Kiri, but realizes that the creature is about to attack one last time. Nero wants to be the one who will stop the Savior, so he uses his demonic hand to deal with it. With a huge energy surge, Nero grabs the Savior's head and squeezes it hard until it shatters, destroying the Savior for good. Nero hands Dante the Yamato, but Dante leaves it with the young man as a gift. When Dante leaves the island, Nero has some time to clarify things with Kiri. He doesn't care he is a demon as long as the two of them can love each other. The story ends as the two lovers get closer to share their first kiss. Devil May Cry Visions of V. Before we cover Devil May Cry 5, we first need to cover Visions of V manga. This manga follows the man called V, and pretty much acts as the prequel story for the next game. As for who V is, we will explain that in a bit. Now, one important thing to note here is that Virgil is somehow alive again. If you remember from the previous games we covered, Virgil was first defeated by Mundus, then turned into Nilo Angelo, and then seemingly killed by Dante in DMC 1. Although there isn't a straightforward explanation as to how this happened, one possibility is that when Dante defeated him in DMC 1, he didn't actually kill him, and instead, Virgil ended up in the underworld. He would be stuck there for quite some time, and would eventually break free from Mundus's control. However, this came at a cost. His body was now weak, and he only had a fraction of the power he once had. So, in order to get back his power, Virgil finds and attacks Nero, taking Yamato away from him. However, the problem for Nero is that he kept Yamato inside his demonic arm, which pretty much means that Virgil had to sever his entire arm to get the sword. This left Nero in a coma for a while. Anyways, after this, Virgil escapes to his old house in Redgrave City and recounts his many defeats. Unlike his brother Dante, who wants to help humans, Virgil has no such desire. The only thing that he wanted was to become more powerful. However, he lands on his face every time he tries to do it, and he keeps stacking his defeats one after another. In order to separate himself from his humanity, which is what he thinks makes him weak, Virgil stabs himself with Yamato. This causes his soul to be separated into two parts. The demonic part, which would become the demon known as Urizen, and the human part, which would become V. However, V and Urizen weren't the only two things to come out of Virgil. Namely, his memories of when he was tortured by Mundus also manifested as physical creatures: Griffin, Panther, Nightmare, and Phantom. Anyways, V was very weak and couldn't survive on his own. So, Griffin soon appears to take him away. Since the boy wants to stay alive, Griffin offers him a contract. In simple terms, Griffin will die if he doesn't have a host, and he needs V to be his host. On the other hand, V needs Griffin to survive. Suddenly, a demon known as Empusa manifests, and V wants Griffin to prove his power. After Griffin seemingly defeats the monster, V grabs Virgil's lost poetry book, but Empusa soon comes back to life. Griffin is now weakened and takes V away to hide in a store. The Empusa finds them, and V is frustrated due to his lack of power. He grabs a cane from the store and attacks the Empusa with it. V is able to kill the Empusa, and Griffin suggests a tactic they can use to fight other demons. Griffin will weaken them first, and V will finish them off. Then, Griffin starts fading away, but V accepts his contract, saving him. Later, V has a vision of his creator, Virgil, being tortured by Mundus as he covers him in dark energy to make Virgil his slave. When V snaps out of it, Griffin tells him that he is sensing another creature like himself nearby. Griffin wants V to try and tame this demon and have it join their team. Soon, a demon that looks like a panther attacks them and steals V's cane. V and Griffin follow it in a dark alley, but they see the panther has been killed by another demon that is about to eat it. Phantom. Griffin suggests to Phantom to make a contract with V, but the demon refuses to team up with somebody as weak as V. As Phantom attacks them, V and Griffin drag the panther's body behind cover. The panther, whose name is Shadow, regains consciousness, and V presents it with its choices: either be alone and die, or team up with them to defeat Phantom. Shadow decides to work with V, and the team is able to kill Phantom. The panther then makes an official contract with V and joins him. However, the team still admits that they are rather weak, so they should try and find some stronger allies. V asks Griffin if he knows anybody more powerful, and the latter informs him about a demon known as Nightmare. However, Griffin warns V to stay away from this one. V takes the team to the demon as Griffin explains that Nightmare has no will of its own, but rather it only serves whoever it recognizes as its master. V instructs the team to attack, but all of them are easily beaten, with V himself getting trapped by the monster inside its body. V starts getting some visions, but all of them break down pretty soon. Then, V meets with Nightmare's consciousness, which has taken the form of a huge eye. V uses his demonic powers to control the eye and escapes the demon's body, which also defeats the monster. Griffin prompts V to kill Nightmare, but the young man waits, sensing demonic activity. Shadow warns the team that more demons are coming to their location. After some battling, V asks Nightmare to recognize him as its master, and they successfully make a contract. Nightmare then helps the team fight off the incoming demons, but V collapses after the fight is over. While he is out, V has a vision of being at Sparda's mansion, and he soon realizes that he is accessing Virgil's childhood memories. V considers the possibility of defeating Urizen, but he assumes that he won't be able to win, even with Nightmare on his side, because he does not have enough energy to preserve his allies in perfect condition. At some point, V sees a reflection of Dante. This makes the boy think about why Dante was able to defeat Virgil even though they were twins and had the same amount of power. Soon, V wakes up listening to Griffin saying that he gave them a scare. If V is harmed, the demons that have made a contract with him will also vanish. The next day, V announces that they should go get Dante to help them with their Urizen problem. However, they need money to get to Dante and probably to pay him for his service. V suggests they steal money from someone rich, but he soon stumbles on 3 thugs mugging a woman in an alley. As the thugs steal her necklace, V has a vision of Eva giving the 2 amulets to her children, Virgil and Dante. Back in the present, V tries to get involved, but he's weak and the thugs corner him. Nevertheless, these guys have no idea who they are messing with. Shadow soon appears to kill them and V takes their money. V also gives the woman her necklace back before leaving. After traveling by train, V suggests to find Morrison, and Griffin wonders why they don't just go to Dante's shop directly. V explains that this process will conceal their identities, making them look more like random people who are looking for help. Griffin considers the possibility of Dante not being able to defeat Urizen, but V believes Dante to be the strongest demon slayer, even stronger than Nero. Eventually, V finds Morrison in a bar and tells him that he has a special request. Morrison proceeds to talk to Dante about this job while V waits outside. Then, V is invited inside, while Morrison leaves to recruit Trish and Lady for this new mission. V tells Dante about a powerful demon that will turn his city into a mess, but Dante takes it with a grain of salt, because he has faced many powerful demons before. However, he is shocked when V tells him that this demon is actually Virgil. In any case, Dante will help no matter whom he has to fight. Soon, V returns to Redgrave City with Dante and his team, and when they get there, they sense Urizen approaching. Feeling that demon's tremendous power is growing even more, V expresses that they can't defeat this demon. Dante tells him to run away if he is scared, and V lets Dante handle things his way. Nevertheless, V still wants to help, so asks Morrison to take him to Fortuna so they can get Nero, even though he is injured. Later, Nero wakes up from a wild dream and sees V standing by the window. V tells him everything that has happened so far and asks him for backup. Nero accepts his invitation and starts getting ready. In the meantime, Urizen has defeated Trish and Lady. Dante takes this as confirmation that this demon is Virgil, because he knows that no one else would be able to defeat them. Dante then attacks Urizen, but the powerful demon can defend himself. Then, Urizen attacks Dante, but without putting much effort into it. The demon hunter asks him to get up from his throne and fight with his full strength, but Urizen replies that he doesn't view Dante as a threat. As this exchange takes place, Nero arrives with V. Since many demons are attracted to the demon tree, V moves first near the heart of the battle, slaying some weak demons with Shadow. Nero follows up, but sadly encounters an injured Dante lying on the ground. Nero attacks Urizen, but he can't do anything to him. Urizen slams Nero on the wall, almost rendering him unconscious. As Urizen is about to finish him off, Dante gets back up and starts fighting the demon again. He yells at V to take Nero away, although Nero wants to stay and fight. As V pulls him away, he expresses to Nero that he has to get well because he is the only person who can defeat Urizen if Dante fails. As Dante is defeated and his rebellion sword is broken, the demon tree grows roots from the ground and attacks the citizens. Morrison informs everyone that the tree needs 1 month to reach its full strength, and once it does, it will destroy their world. Nero asks Morrison to take him back to Fortuna so he can recover, promising to be back in Redgrave in a month. Meanwhile, V will stay in the city to gather more information about their enemies. To summarize, after Dante's defeat by Urizen, his body was left unconscious somewhere in the city, while Trish and Lady were both trapped inside demons by Urizen. Lady was trapped inside Artemis, while Trish was being used as a host for Cavalier Angelo. In the month that followed, Nero returned to Fortuna. There, his friend Nico created a cybernetic arm for him to replace the one that he lost to Virgil. Meanwhile, back at Redgrave, V is witnessing many humans being viciously killed. Watching this, he realizes that the biggest difference between Virgil and Dante is their opinion about humanity. Virgil always looked down to humans, while Dante embraces humanity and saw humans as equals. In the end, this realization motivates V to help the people of the city. V and his companions spend their time killing demons, even though Griffin criticizes V for this because he believes V is wasting too much energy. Devil May Cry 5. After a month has finally passed, Nico drives Nero back to Redgrave City. A human special forces unit is trying to fight the demons, but they are not successful. Nero intervenes to show them how it's done, and he attaches his new arm, the Devil Breaker. After Nero kills a few enemies, Nico informs him that they have to be faster because the demon tree is taking over the whole city. While the Hell Gate between the two worlds is being opened, more and more demonic creatures come to visit. Some of them are easy for Nero, but some of them give him a tough time. Nero soon stumbles on a big demon known as Goliath, who is eager to kill him. The blood of a descendant of Sparta would be a great sacrifice, and Goliath would declare himself the new demon king. However, his dream will not come true as Nero fights and beats him. V then appears, and with some assistance from his demon friends, Shadow and Griffin, V finishes Goliath. Nero and V then decide to split into 2 teams to cover more ground, because they have to figure out if Dante is still alive. Before getting near the tree, Nero encounters a Death Scissors demon, resembling a Reaper, ready to pack and deliver you to the underworld. Afterward, Nero has to deal with Artemis, and after defeating him, Lady is freed from the demon's body. In the meantime, V is also trying to approach the tree, but is stalled by demons. V is not as powerful and experienced in battle as Nero, so he needs some help. Thankfully for him, his demon friends are always by his side to lend him a hand. Later, V overhears that Malthus ordering a night demon to find the Sword of Sparta, which is apparently somewhere in the city. The demons can't risk one of Sparta's descendants getting the sword, so they are trying to get to it first. When the Malthus leaves, V picks a fight with the knight and defeats him. The knight runs away, but V is too weak to follow him. V then expresses the desire to find the sword, but Griffin wonders if he is going to be strong enough to wield it. However, V actually plans to give the sword to Nero instead of using it himself. Elsewhere, Nico and Nero are taking care of Lady until a Titan demon walks nearby, shaking the ground. This one is too big to let alone, so Nero picks a fight with it. As soon as Nero defeats the Titan, it turns into a root and rots. Lady wakes up and Nero has a talk with her, but she doesn't remember anything that happened. This means she has no idea if Dante is still alive. V joins the group, but soon leaves again with Nero because they are running out of time. A group of organized Angelo demons try to stop them, but they are defeated. Nero and V soon approach the tree, but V says that he will not enter just yet because he needs to look for the sword. Nero doesn't find that to be a good idea, but V knows that they have to get all the help they can. In a twist of fate, Griffin finds the Devil's Sword of Sparta and informs V about it. After defeating a few demons worshipping the sword, V gets his hands on it, but he can only lift it for a second. Then, Shadow draws V's attention to show him something. He has found Dante. He is unconscious but still alive. Somehow the sword has protected Dante and concealed his presence. V drags the sword near Dante's body and lifts it up to impale the demon hunter with it, which causes him to open his eyes. V then tells Dante that Nero can't defeat Urizen by himself and he needs help. Dante gets on his way and meets with the Night Demon. He defeats the demon and frees Trish from within it. As V catches up with him, Dante leaves again, telling V to take care of Trish. Later, Trish wakes up and demands to know the truth about Urizen. Since V is from the underworld, he knows there is no such demon there. So, V reveals the truth to her, saying that Virgil used Yamato to separate his human side from his demon side in the pursuit of ultimate power. Meanwhile, Nero enters the demon tree and starts slaying demons left and right. Eventually, he reaches Urizen's lair and begins to fight the demon again. Nero is stronger than before, and this time he actually manages to land a hit on the demon. However, this only makes Urizen more angry. He finally gets up from his throne and threatens to show Nero true pain and despair. Nero tries to fight him, but is ultimately defeated. At the same time, Dante reaches his old home, and he wonders why his father gave him the Rebellion sword. Suddenly, he gets an idea. If Yamato can separate man from demon, maybe Rebellion can do the opposite. So Dante stabs himself with Rebellion, and this causes him to absorb both Rebellion and Sparta's sword, unlocking his ultimate power. Then he rushes to find Urizen and arrives just in time to save Nero from certain death. He then gives the demon a good beating, forcing him to open a portal to escape. As the team unites, V explains that Urizen is most likely going for the fruit. This fruit gives any demon who eats it divine power, and eventually the mighty Mundus had used the fruit in the past to become the Demon King. Dante wants to work alone, so the members of the team split up to take separate routes. V is soon cornered by Malthus, but Nero comes to his aid before it is too late. V is weak, but asks Nero for one final favor, to get near the demon fruit. Meanwhile, Dante gets on top of the tree only to find Urizen standing in front of the fruit. Dante tries to talk him out of it, but the demon doesn't care and eats the fruit, achieving his final form. Nevertheless, Dante is also much stronger than he was before. So after an epic battle, he manages to defeat the demon. V then arrives with Nero's help to ask Dante to allow him to land the final blow. However, instead of killing Urizen, V merges with him to bring the original Virgil back to life. Dante immediately attacks his brother, but he is weak. Virgil tells him that they will settle this matter when Dante recovers, and opens a portal to leave. Dante announces that he will go after Virgil and Nero wants to follow him. However, Dante can't escape having him around and reveals that Virgil is actually Nero's father. Meanwhile, the demon tree has grown even more, and it will soon reach the point where it will start consuming the human world. On his path to prevent this from happening, Dante is attacked by V's former companions, who reveal that they were born out of Virgil's memories of pain when he was being used by Mundus. The companions attack Dante on their own free will, but they fall by his hand. Elsewhere, the team rescues Nero and Lady tries to convince him to stay with them because one never recovers from killing their own father. She knows that very well. Despite the team's warnings, Nero jumps out of the van to go find Virgil. Dante finds Virgil first, and they agree to put an end to this once and for all. After round 1, they take the demon forms and are about to go all out. Meanwhile, Nero calls his wife, Kiri, to tell her that he has found out that he has a family, but he has no idea what to do about it. However, Kiri tells him not to doubt himself and that he will surely make it the right choice. After hanging up the phone, Nero grows a human hand and takes his demon form. Moments before Virgil and Dante clash, Nero jumps between them to stop them. Nero tries to convince them to stop fighting each other, but both brothers are stubborn. Seeing as Dante is weakened, end, Virgil suggests that he fights Nero, and if he wins, it will pretty much mean he defeated Dante as well. Dante doesn't really care, so he agrees. Unexpectedly, Nero fights his father and actually manages to win, teaching both brothers a lesson. Virgil starts reforming even though he doesn't want to show it. He then agrees to go to the underworld to sever the demon tree's roots to prevent it from destroying the human world. Dante will go with him as well. The thing is, once roots are destroyed, the brothers won't be able to return to the human world. Nero wants to go as well, but they leave him behind, trusting him to handle things on this side. Before jumping to the underworld, Virgil gives his poetry book to Nero. In the aftermath of these events, Nico and Nero are heading home. Nico tells him that it's okay to cry if he wants to, but that he has to wait because Nero has to kill a few demons first. In hell, Virgil proclaims that he is capable of cutting the tree down on his own, but Dante intends to help and also keep an eye on him. Around 1 month later, Dante and Virgil still haven't returned to the human world, so Trish and Lady start arguing over who will run Devil May Cry's shop. However, Morrison walks in with a deed proving that Dante entrusted the shop to him. Then he employs the ladies in a new job. Meanwhile, Dante and Virgil are still fighting demons in hell and have seemingly made amends with one another. They are working great together and demons stand no chance.